The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of Atlas Chiropractic Center of Escanaba, Michigan, Largent Media, or any of their affiliates or subsidiaries. The material and information presented in this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Should you need medical attention or advice, seek out a licensed medical professional or facility in your area. The Tapping Into Uncomfortable with Reade Hubert DC name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.
Welcome to Tapping Into Uncomfortable. Once again, I pronounced uncomfortable properly. This is the home of Cerebral Pulmonary Resuscitation. That's right, we're mentally getting blood flow to your brain for better decision making. But you know, if you've been listening to the show, do I have to do it? Do I have to? Yes, I do. The riff. Once again, that hit me in the mediastinum. Last time I said mediastinum because that was an ode to one of my old teachers that just had to say it wrong. So anyway, so today you don't have to worry about the chest bone. You don't have to worry about the ribs. If anything, we want cerebral pulmonary resuscitation to get more blood flow up to that brain, but also look towards the glymphatic system. Brand new system just discovered in the brain in the last year. Put a G in front of lymphatics. It's called glymphatics. I personally believe, and it's not scientific yet, that it's going to be a big player in degeneration of the brain diseases that's coming as soon as the smart people figure it out. I just got off vacation and I was listening to some podcasts, and honestly, folks, I am completely shaken to my core. I've lost confidence in this show. So I have decided that I need to go over my curriculum vitae, or to the rest of you, my CV, so that you can go, hey, this guy is so well educated that we're going to believe what he has to say. So in the next seconds, you're actually going to hear my curriculum vitae. So here we go. I have a cat. All right. There is my CV on why you should listen to this program. I'm actually really super excited. So today what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about smart people. Number 2, we're going to talk about, it's not breakfast. Number 3, we're going to talk about detox this. Number 4, you incorporated. Question and answer of the brutality that came out of Tapping to Uncomfortable University Sociology Department on the do you have the right to care? And then our next question, which I took it easy on you. All right, folks. So let's talk about smart people. I talked to you about my curriculum vitae, how impressive it was. So you have a lot of smart people out there that are talking lots of stuff. And we have a tendency, since they went to these universities, which you have just found out earlier this year, plagiarism, and how big it's played a role in these people's degrees. And there are numerous people throughout the ages that you have known that have cheated to get their degrees. They know that. I'm not bringing up their names, but also that's the way they look at it. So when we talk about smart people, there's one thing I want every single human being that is listening to this. I want you to understand that we put too much emphasis on degrees and smart people. I'm going to explain something to you. The other day, I needed something fabricated out of steel. So I had this thing that I needed done. So I went to somebody locally. They took it within 24 hours. They handed it to me. It was beautifully bent steel. It was beautifully welded. My friends, that is a smart person. That is somebody that has a gift that uses it to the rest of us. Every single solitary person listening to this program has a gift. It's time for you to start using it for the benefit of the rest of us. That, my friends, is what a smart person actually is, not getting a degree. So why did I bring up smart people? Because if you haven't read just recently what's happening, and I'm so glad this finally came out because I've known about this for years. So when I wrote my book and I talk on the podcast, I use the best sources I can find of journals, periodicals, things that I believe that are right. If I were to do a study and I handed it over to a journal and they said, thank you, Dr. Hubert, your curriculum vitae is very nice. And so we're going to take that. And they printed that article. What they have found that in 2 years alone, they had to retract 11,300 scientific papers because there was research fraud. It's actually causing 19 periodicals to actually be done because they ran out of money. Because when they print this and then they have to retract it, it costs them a lot of money. And then who's going to invest in a scientific journal, advertisement-wise, when people are causing fraud? This is what's happening day in and day out. It's called junk science. What I want you to understand, the only thing that you can ever truly depend upon is how the body is intended to run. Think about that. How is your body intended to run, and do things work with that? That's why the nurturing teas, the thoughts, toxins, trauma, working with who you actually are makes you who you are. That's what's so cool. And if you can work with how the body works, it's really super cool. When you visit your health gurus and you look and they come out, and remember we had talked last time about statistics with drugs, with medications, with vaccinations, with potions, with lotions, all that stuff. This is the stuff we're dealing with. Do you realize one of the greatest, most brutal things that's ever been released on humanity was opioids? Opioids was based on fudged false information that was given to our body of our government that said, okay, we believe what you're showing us, and we now are going to approve this drug. That's how opioids got their start. We've known about opium since the 1800s, but even previous to that, thousands of years we've known about it. But that's how opioids got on. It got on because the smart people that are supposed to review in this believed the other smart people who then fudged the results and said, oh, it's not as addictive as we think, got out in the public, and now look what we have. Now, moms and dads, there is a new opioid out there. It's been since the 1950s. It was never recommended to become a drug in America. It is remarkably stronger than fentanyl. It is just starting to show up around the world, causing death. You have to be careful. I don't know what to tell you because this is what's coming. You think fentanyl's bad? You wait until this recipe hits the shore, and it's just starting. You have to be careful where you're getting your information, who you're getting your information from, because of the fact that I know health gurus are purposely misleading you to take your money. So be careful, please. Dude, beer me now. Seriously? Beer in a plastic bottle?
Nice flannel.
Yeah, that's from axe throwing this morning. I just made it out of the way.
I won. Knocked the bottle right off your head.
You cheated. You put down your beer first before you threw. Doesn't matter. I don't fear the axe.
Well, I heard Bigfoot was around.
He better not drink my beer. I'm not afraid of Sasquatch.
I heard they found plastic in men's testicles.
What? You mean I have junk in my... How'd you like that skit? By the way, welcome to Detoxify This. That, my friends, is microplastics, which now a new term has been done, and it's called nanoplastics. This is something that's going to have potentially large impact on you, your family, the environment, because we're just starting to learn about it. So I'm going to give you stuff that you can look into, and then you can make your own decision. Because the one thing I don't want to do is heavily get into something and make you think that's the way it is, because it's all brand new, all this stuff and the research that's coming out. So let's sit and talk a little bit about stuff you may not have thought about. So microplastics. First of all, microplastics meaning small, very small, but nanoplastics, folks, is a billionth. It is so small right now that's being found in the human body that we're even having a difficult time with our electron microscopes, with whatever we can throw at it to try to find this. So they're down to a billionth of a piece. Now, I'm a firm believer that because it's now been found in the testicles of men, that something may actually get done, what we've been known and has been going on for a long time, because you literally can't find this stuff. Here's what we do know for sure. It is found in your artery plaque, which means it's found in your blood. It's now found in testicles. It's now found in the placenta. In my book, I put down that it was in the placenta. Fascinating, the research that I based it on, they went back and they said, we found that in one placenta. Let's check the other placentas, and it was 100%. That every placenta they checked, I think it was in high 30s, actually demonstrated they all had plastics in the placenta. What's amazing about this is that this is a toxin. It does not belong there. But what's amazing about this toxin is it's mechanical as well as chemical. Think about that. So you and I are gardening, right? And so we're gardening and we got these world-class roses. And all of a sudden, you get a thorn in your finger. And we look at it and you go, nope, it's pretty deep. I'm not going to remove that thorn. How do you get the thorn out of your finger if you choose to do it? What happens if you don't? Probably a nasty infection, can lead to all kinds of stuff. But you know, in order to get that thorn out of your finger, you mechanically, physically have to go in and pull it out or cut it out or get it out, so it doesn't cause a problem. When we're dealing with nanoplastics and microplastics, we're dealing with physical plastic, physical pieces. But also with the physical pieces comes the chemistry. So we're also dealing with the chemistry of plastics inside the body, which, by the way, your body does amazing with some of these microplastic chemistry. There's a thing called BPA, and they've been taking it out of plastics. Here's what I want you to do for you and your family. I want you to do your own research. Right now with AI generated, you can literally punch it in and get some of this stuff. And then we're going to talk about the junk science, because there was a reason I talked about smart people. I want you to punch up BPA, hormones. So the word BPA and hormones. That's a chemical that we know of for a long time, many years, about what it does inside the human body. Coolest thing about BPA is that when it's pulled out of plastics and it gets into your body within hours has chemically changed it and removed it. Our government has, for adults, you're only supposed to get X amount of BPA per day because your body goes in, takes care of it, and removes it. But what happens now when you actually have a micro or a nano piece sitting inside your cell or on the outside of your cell? What happens? You can't physically go in and remove it. So detoxification of plastics is not possible at this point, because now you're going to have to chemically try to remove it, but you're going to have to physically try to remove it. How do you do that? Oh, yeah. And by the way, there's no such thing as detoxification. People, you're going to get mad. You're going to get upset. You go, that dude is whacked. But I'm here to tell you, think about this. Whatever you think can detoxify the body, that you take it and you say, okay, body, I'm going to take this. And what you're going to do, you're going to go to my liver and you are going to remove all the heavy metals out of my body and out of my brain. And that's what you're going to do, because that's what the bottle says. And that's what this health guru told me. So you go and you take this supplement, and all of a sudden it does exactly what it's supposed to do. What do you think would happen to you if all your metals were excreted? You would be dead. Do you understand? So how can you help yourself? First of all, when it comes to this, folks, do not put it into your body. But you can't help it now. Here's the reason why. Nanoplastic especially is extremely small. Plastics are now found on the snow-capped mountains. They're found in water. They are found in the soil, and you breathe them. So they're everywhere. So we don't know yet, because the science isn't there, because we just figured this out, that pieces are inside the human body. Are those pieces excreting the chemistry of BPA? Are they excreting the chemistry of phthalates, which is PHTHALATES? So if you look at that word, phthalates and hormones, we talked to you about BPA and hormones. You can look up fetal health and plastics. So what we have with this unique toxin is we have the mechanical aspect as well as we have the chemistry aspect. There's one more thing I want you to look at, because here's what's happening. Men have been dropping testosterone at a scary level. Men also are becoming more infertile because their sperm counts are dropping. And this has been happening over the last couple decades. It's getting worse and worse and worse, and they don't know why. I want you to punch up LEYDIG. It's called Leydig. Those are your Leydig cells, and they are responsible for making sperm, but also making testosterone. And guess where plastics are being found? Exactly. So what you need to do is you need to come up with some conclusions on your own. I'm not going to sit here and lead you down because we don't have pure scientific proof, which now brings me to junk science with this detoxification. The junk science is now coming, folks. What's going to happen, because this is going to be blown wide open, and this is a worldwide toxin, this is a worldwide issue, that the smart people are going to come out. These studies are going to come out. And if I had a study that came out right now and I said, there is no proof that micro or nanoplastic causes issues, that, my friends, is 100% correct. Will that statement hold up in 5 years? Will that statement hold up in 10 years? That's junk science. You're going to have a review of the literature. You're going to have the review of all this stuff. And what's going to happen is it's going to bide everybody time to get to the point of what are we going to do with this? Because what's happening is when our government set a standard of BPA, look at our entire day and look at where BPA may be coming from in plastics. So you go, I got 1 dose. Well, today I got 30 doses, but tomorrow I got 1. And we know your body deals really well with a small amount, but you're giving it more. But the junk science is going to come out. So here's what's going to happen in the future. If this is proven a toxin, and this actually proves what's been going on with the male, this is what they're going to do. First, they're going to come out and say, yes, guaranteed it's causing severe issues. 2, it's going to cause some issues. Or 3, scientifically, it causes no issues. Then what's going to happen? Think about this. You have to change your behavior. And are you going to pay for the new technology? Because that plastic bag right now costs 2 cents to make. Are you going to bring your own bag? Or are you going to pay for the bags with the new technology without that plastic in them? And that bag is now $5 a bag. Are you going to do that? Or are you going to stay with the 2 cents a bag, which is affecting the entire environment? Then what's going to happen is our government's going to do this. We talked to you last time in the COVID Express. Cooperate. Then they're going to do fear. And then what they're going to do is ban. So they're going to tell these industries, because look at how many things are made out of plastic, and not all plastics are secreting the same chemistry. They found 12 different plastics in people. So they're going to say, the government's going to tell these companies, either you cooperate, and if you don't cooperate, we're going to fine you probably per day. And then if you don't, the countries are going to ban them. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? Remember, it's about you. So what you can do for yourself, if it's scientifically proven or not that it causes a problem, and we now know that it's in the human body, what are you going to do about it? Because the only way you can stop this is you can knowingly not put this into your body. That's the best you can do, even though you may breathe it in, even though it may be in your water that's in your ground. But at least you'll know, I'm not doing this for me and my family. That's all you can do, folks. You're not going to be able to detoxify this at this point. Number 4, you Inc. This is very important, because what I want you to do in this whole thing is I want you to get something out of it. So in You Inc., thoughts, toxins, trauma, and traits, one thing can apply to all 4. Get some sleep. It is so important to try to shut this down, to reset yourself. Too many people. You got to have some downtime. You got to get away from the TV. You got to get away from the phone. You need to chill. You need to start getting some sleep. Sleep affects all 4 of those areas. So You Incorporated, please get some sleep. Now, understand, I told you in the previous You Inc., know your nature. Some people can run on 4 hours. Some can run on 3. Some need 8. Some need 9. That's just the way it is, folks. So know your nature, work with it, and get some sleep. All right. Let's go to the question of last podcast. Very difficult. If you choose not to get a vaccination because you don't believe in it, and something goes wrong, and because of you not getting the vaccination, you now need emergency care, do you have the right for emergency care? Tough question, isn't it? If healthcare is a birthright, you have all the right in the world. But in a capitalistic system, and you choose not to, and your choices change the rest of us and make things worse for us, I think you should have to live with your choices. Oh, is that brutal? Hey, think about that. You choose not to for whatever reason, and it goes bad, why should you have the right to walk into an emergency room? Because this is what happened during the pandemic. There was one ventilator. A 65-year-old walks in who had the vaccination, gets COVID anyway. The 25-year-old, overweight, processed food, playing video games, got COVID bad, but they didn't think they were going to get it bad. But because of their lifestyle, it set them up for something a little worse. So they both walk into the emergency room. The medical doctor looks at them and goes, I have one ventilator for 2 people. Who do you think they chose the majority of the time? We sacrificed our old people. That's what we had to do in the early days of the pandemic. So the question would be, it brings up so many different areas, but think about what would happen if we actually had to live with our choices, or in this case, die with our choices, because you wanted to be free. The ultimate expression of freedom is to die free. So there's many different ways to answer that. So I just wanted to bring up 2. If it's your birthright, go for it. If it's based on your choice, no, you do not. You need to pay the price, or you can get care, but I'm going to hand you a 6-figure bill that you have to pay. Oh, folks, it's getting brutal here, tapping into uncomfortable. Finally, we're going to go easy on you. We're going to go over the next question. And the next question in this podcast is, think about this. What can motivate you besides negativity? Think about that. It's a good question. We usually get motivated by negativity. The goal is to be motivated without getting negative, without getting a disease, without getting a sickness. So what can motivate you besides negativity? So as always, I want you to be happy. I want you to be healthy. And I want you to just be.